right, welcome back to the T1D Mom Support Group call. We've got a little friend here with us today. You want to say hi, Summer? Say hi. We'll see how well she does. So, because all her siblings come from school, but we are on hardcore summer schedule. So they are all still asleep. Usually I'm like, hey, you want to earn some Pokemon cards and babysit while I do a call? Not today. They're still asleep. So today we are going to talk about overwhelm. Because are you feeling some overwhelm? That's a stupid question to ask a T1D mom. We're constantly in overwhelm all the time anyways, because of just the diabetes. Then there's all the other things. Then there's summer break. Oh, look, you can even see the sign on my door that says Mom is working. But it's open right now. A lot of things going on in our lives all the time. Overwhelm is a feeling, right? We'll go back to our little model here. So we feel overwhelmed, not because of the hundreds of things on our to-do list, not because the kids are home for summer, not because of the diabetes, but because of our thoughts, right? Remember this? So if you're feeling overwhelmed, let's figure out what you're thinking that's making you feel overwhelmed. And my guess is that the word should is in that thought line somewhere. Either you should or they should. Like, she should not be here right now. Right? Oh, that's some good hair. I should brush her hair more. I should figure out how to get her hair out of her eyes. Right? She should let me keep a clip in her hair. So when we're shooting all over ourselves and everyone else, it causes overwhelm because we're arguing with reality. Like the reality is that her hair grows into her eyes. The reality is I do not prioritize making her hair cute. Like that's just not a thing I'm worried about. That's the facts of the situation. And I can change those if I wanted to, but not from beating myself up, right? Not from overwhelm, not from adding more things to my to-do list, right? So there's 400,000 million things that are seeking our attention at all times. And even more in this crazy modern world of technology, right? Every single one of our screens is attracting our attention. All of our kids need attention, and every single item outside that door, once I walk out of here, is screaming at me for attention. If there's dishes, food spills, toys everywhere, all the items have a place. And if they're not in their place, then they're screaming thoughts into my brain. My brain is thinking, I need to put that away, like for all of those items. And so if we were going to literally make a to-do list out of the things that our brain thinks that we need to do, it's a very long list. And there's no possible way to do all of those things at one time. In fact, I am done saying that multitasking is even possible. Okay. So your brain can only truly function like think about one thing at a time. So if you're thinking about what the baby's doing right now, you're not listening to what I'm saying, right? If I'm thinking about the babies and what the baby's doing right now, I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. And that is why I'm all over the place all the time, because the brain is like that. Like it doesn't do multiple things at a time. It jumps from thing to thing to thing, right? We're jumping trains of thought. We're not doing them all on the same train, right? And so we have to manage that. We have to understand that that's how the brain works and stop expecting superhuman things out of our human brains, okay? Human brains do one task at a time. And in our crazy input-filled world, it's tricky to figure out what to do next. So I was working on this mantra this morning with Brooke Snow in her Co-Create app. If you want to check it out, amazing. There is always just one thing to do. So this morning I was very overwhelmed because I had call after call after call this morning. And so I was thinking about all the different subjects of things that I was going to be talking about on all the different things and the task items, whatever, just in my business, right? Just in the morning while the kids are asleep. What am I trying to get accomplished this morning? So that doesn't even scratch the surface of all the mom things, right? And what's going to happen once they wake up and what's happening with their blood sugar levels while they're asleep and all the things, right? There's so many things going on in our brains. So when we give ourselves the permission to accept that there is always just one thing to do. There's always just one thing to do. Breathe it in, breathe it out, mantra it, right? That's what I was doing this morning to work on the overwhelm. There's always just one thing to do. So you just focus on the next right step, right? Frozen 2, right? That's that song about what's the next right thing or whatever the song is. I don't know. She's off watching it while I'm in here doing my next thing. And so all we have to do is get present. Okay. We're overwhelmed because we're worried about the future. We're worried about the past. That's a lot of worry. You can drop the war on the worry and just get present. Like, what am I doing right now? What do I need to do right now? What is the one thing? One thing. So cut your brain a break and give it the gift of focusing on one thing at a time. So when you have 5 kids and they all are telling you what they want for lunch at the same time, one at a time, please. My mom used to say, take a number. And I've started saying that. I'm like, oh, every time I say something that my mom used to say, I'm like, what is happening? There's a reason she said that. I'm like, please, one at a time, take a number, right? So it's my reminder to start this call. We started early because we got friends coming over today. So if anyone joins the call, then I'll stay on for the actual time. But if I'm just posting this on a replay, I can do it at any time, right? So overwhelm comes from our thoughts like, there's too much to do. I have 1,000 things to do right now. And my husband isn't helping. Like, that adds frustration to the overwhelm. How come he gets to sit there and relax when I've been working all day too, and I never get to relax? Blah, 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 blah. The pity party that our brains start going into, hypothetically, not that that was happening just last night. So you get present, okay? What do I need to do right now? Instead of, oh my goodness, I still haven't even made the beds, and there's like laundry to do, and I need to swap out an Omnipod tonight, and la 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 la, all the things. And has anybody even eaten dinner? Like, all the things. When it's all the things, we're overwhelmed. When it's what is the one thing I need to do right now? You just do the one thing. Now what's the next thing? Now what's the next thing? I was teaching this to my kids the other day when there's a big mess in the living room and I wanted them to clean it up, not me clean up after them all the time, because every little thing out there is telling my brain there's something to do. And I'm like, kids, if you want me to play with you on the summer break instead of me just cleaning up behind you all day long, so I don't even have a second to breathe because all I'm doing is cleaning up after you, let's teach you how to clean up your own stuff, right? So my son literally, like, he agreed that he would clean up the mess. He comes over and then he went right back to the couch. And I was like, what happened? You were going to clean it up. He's like, there's too much. Like, he went into overwhelm, right? He went and looked at this pile of toys. I was like, there's too much. So there's a shelf in our living room that has room for books and totes for little bins for toys, right? But of course, the baby goes in there and dumps out all the bins and pulls out all the books and all the things, right? So there's a big pile in front of the shelf, because that's what I like to do, is just push it all back over to the shelf, but it was on the floor. All I wanted them to do was put it away. So instead of going and seeing the huge pile, which causes thoughts, that causes overwhelm, then you think there's always just one thing to do. Like, what is the one? So I said, come over here, sit by this pile and pick something up. Okay, what is it? Is it a book? Okay, it goes in the book place. Is it a toy? Okay, it goes in the toy place. Like, that's literally all you had to do with the whole pile. One thing at a time. Is it a book or a toy? Is it a book or a toy? And then all of a sudden it's done. Like, one thing at a time, you gain momentum and it's just done. But when you look at the big mess and you think that's like, I don't know what to do with any of this, then you just are in overwhelm. But if you pick up one thing, what do I do with this one thing? So getting present, getting one thing at a time is the antidote to overwhelm. Okay. So breathe, always the breath. I think that was class number 1 because it's so important. So Brooke Snow said in this meditation I was doing with her about overwhelm this morning on the Co-Create app, receive the peace that being present provides. So good. So when you breathe and you get present, like, what is happening right in this moment? Not what am I worried about happening this afternoon? What am I beating myself up about that happened yesterday? Like, right now, peace resides in the present. You can't control the future. You can't control the past. You can control the present, and that is where peace resides. We're all trying to find more peace in our parenting, right? Peace is in the present. So receive that peace that the present provides. So good. Okay, anything else? What is the next thing for you to do? Small incremental things. When we're like, oh, I have to figure out this diabetes thing. It's like too big. Like, that's a lot. Then we're like, oh, I don't know how to handle this diabetes. I'm going to go on this Facebook. And then you're like, oh, it's even more, right? It's a lot. So one thing, like, oh, they gave me a handout at the last doctor's appointment. Maybe I'll read that one handout, right? One thing, okay? Bring it back to the present. The alarm's going off. We got to calm down the fight or flight. Panic is not useful. Breathe. So look at the alarm. Is it high? Is it low? What do I need to do to fix it? One step, not the catastrophizing that our brains like to do, that because it's beeping, my kid is dead. Like, that's not true. Calm your brain down. What do I need to do to handle the message that this beeping is telling me, right? So small incremental things build momentum, and by small and simple things are great things brought to pass, okay? So you can clean up the whole pile of toys, one little toy at a time, and then you gain momentum. Change one tiny little thing, not, okay, we're gonna overhaul the way our family eats because my kid just got diagnosed. No, like one little thing, one little thing, one little thing. Tiny incremental things is how change is brought to pass, not overhauling the whole thing. Sometimes you can try that, but it's really hard to sustain, right? The one tiny thing that's sustainable, believable. And of course, you cannot beat yourself up better. So hold on. I only do one thing at a time right now. I gotta make sure she's not breaking my Lego. The globe is made out of Lego, did you not? Didn't you know that? There's a lot of Lego around here. And I love all the moms of the world. I have a globe to go with my map. All my international dolls back there. Okay, and she's not really good there. Pretty hard to put that together. Okay, snacks. I'll touch the globe, please. Okay, small things. What is the one thing? There's always just one thing to do. There's always just one thing to do. That's the mantra today. Always just one thing to do. What is the next step? And that'll take care of overwhelm. Okay. So, and feel more calm, connected, confident, less stressed, sad, scared, less overwhelmed, more peace, right? All right, let me know if you have any questions. Hit me up on drwar.com. Whoa, you've got a pen mark all across your face. That pen right there. Okay, it's 9:30 and the call is supposed to start now. So if anybody wants to hop on. All right, thanks for watching the replay. Zoom lets me know when people join the call. That's happened before. I closed it and then someone came on, and so we chatted, but it wasn't on record, so it didn't make it to the replay. But one of these days, we'll get to know each other. We'll all come to the call. There's a lot of things trying to get our attention, right? So it's hard to remember and to fit into our crazy lives, but make it happen one of these days. Till then, I'll consistently show up and keep talking to myself. Post it on the replay page. All right. Overwhelm. Not necessary. Keeps you stuck. When you work it through the model, when you're feeling overwhelmed, your actions are no action. Have you noticed this? You shut down, you go take a nap. When you're thinking there's too much to do, you do nothing. Okay? So watch your brain, manage your brain. There's not too much to do. There's one thing to do, and then you do that one thing. Not there's too much to do and you do nothing. Okay? Yeah. Say bye-bye. Yeah, say bye-bye. So you got this, mamas. Yeah, you go T1D. She's one of my non-T1D kiddos. She's baby number 5 right here. Yeah, the oldest is a son, then a daughter, then 2 daughters with type 1 diabetes, and then the baby. Mwah! Oh, the sweetest snugs. Okay, say bye-bye.